Hey YouTubers, Rob here with another look at another Commodore 64 game. This time we're looking at Penetrator, a 1984 release by Melbourne House. And the quick way to describe it is that it's a scramble clone with a few interesting little bits of game. Well, fortunately we've got into the demo, but rather than actually playing. But you can see the idea. Yeah, it's basically a scramble clone. The difference is you don't have fuel. So, you ever played Scramble? It's the same kind of gameplay here. You fly across horizontally, landscape, drop bombs, but you need to destroy fuel towers to increase your fuel to keep playing. Here, you don't have to do that. Rather, you have this enemy intelligence, which is sort of a time limit, kind of, at least from what I understand from the manual. You basically use it to, you need to use that to get across. And there's a couple of things like, you can stall, which leads to you dying pretty quickly, things like that. There's also a landscape editor, which we won't look at here. Trading mode lets you practice any of the 4 stages. So here we are. For a 1984 release, the music's actually quite charming. It's actually not bad music. It plays a sort of different variant of the song on each of the 4 levels. Whilst the presentation on the front end is pretty spun, in-game actually feels pretty good. Graphics are nice. Again, it's an early game, so you don't expect a lot of complex graphical tricks, and it's smooth, and it scrolls. It's using the hardware scrolling pretty well, and controls feel really responsive. I mean, I don't feel like it's my fault when I'm crashing into things. There we are. Now on the second stage. So there's 4 stages. You get to the end, destroy the neutron cache according to the instruction manual. I actually did have a quick read of it before recording. First time I've played this, so one thing I do like is that you can just hold the fire button down to fire your main gun, and then you just tap fire to drop bombs. So it actually works okay. I mean, playing this earlier, I was able to get to level 3, so I'm hoping I can actually go a little further this time. Which we're in now, so I kind of like the way the levels are designed. I would say it's a minor complaint, but the actual collisions against the walls are pretty tight. So, as you would expect on the C64 hardware, the hardware collisions, I'm presuming it's using character mode to do the wall tiles, and it's using the hardware to do that well. So it feels really precise when you die, but especially given the fast-paced nature of the game, that's a little too tough. And a couple of touches I do like in particular, if you look at the engine exhaust. Oh, the last stage! I like the fact that, I do like that death sequence as well. But last stage, go me. So I like that when you're accelerating, it uses the sprite scaling hardware to stretch the engine exhaust horizontally. Now this stage actually gets an interesting challenge because you now have to avoid. Now that I don't like, that the death sequence seems to take too long, but let's try that again. Man, this is actually that's an early game. It's really fun. I mean, one of the things I always found a little frustrating when playing Scramble in various forms is that you're dealing with having to be really precise with your bombing in order to hit the fuel targets. And with that removed here, you actually, the game plays a lot faster. And it's a lot more fun as a result. I sort of heard of the name, but I saw some stuff on the Spectrum version. That looked pretty good fun, but I haven't actually played that emulated, so to speak. So, but playing this is like, as I said, it's a great little game, especially for such an early release. Like 1984 is horrendously early back in the day. But they've I mean, I feel they haven't really tried to go over the top with the graphic style. And the inclusion of that editor certainly makes it interesting, certainly adds to the game. So yeah, I think that getting to level 4 is a bit of a fluke shot. But that's it, and that's Penetrator on the C64. A rather surprisingly good, fun, early horizontally scrolling shooter. Takes a few things from Scramble and does its own little thing to make it a lot more fun.